Like Carter exposes creatures, hybrids, cloned athletes, and mind control.
Some of them are, I'd say, creatures. They're hybrid. That does exist, where their DNA is taken again for cloning facilities, like hair shaved, teeth pulled out, DNA taken, things like that. So let's say they break their hand quickly. There's something that can be used with machines. So med beds. We all know about med beds, right? So there's a definition of med beds going on backwards right now. If somebody hurts themselves, they can get well like that in sports because it's a DNA thing. They take their DNA, they use that for cloning facilities, they re-bring them back, and they're back to playing. Even though they may be a shitty player, they need their face. So let's say some of them have one leg. Some of them you'll see them dribbling together. It'll look like somebody carried the basketball over to the hoop. Like, you know, those 3-pointers that don't even look like 3-pointers? And you're like, how the hell did... And then all the men are like, yeah! Like, but in reality, it's a green screen. Somebody takes that ball and moves it to the hoop and then checks the TV, and what's the ratings? Did we go up? Cool. Let's do that again. There's somebody who remotes your commercials as you watch them. You know those commercials that pop up on the regular TV, those 3 commercials? There's somebody who sits in the background and actually makes those commercials pop up on your TV screen. That's their job. I don't know what that's called, but that's their job. Your whole world is a stage. How I know that is because I've been up there with them. I had to sleep with one of the players. I didn't even sleep with one of them. I was assaulted by one of the players that had a prosthetic cheek. And when he took it off, like the I don't even know what was going on inside of his mouth. I could smell it. It was gross. Again, the research is endless. And I'm not... Why? Who would want to sit here and make this show? How can you make this show? An example because it's a basic example. It's the most basic example that you can get on contracts like this, on blueprints like this, on the analogies that we're about to use. I'm going to use the military as an example. When you go into the military, there's clearances that they get, right? Let's say the Navy. Who knows someone in the Navy that has an E4 clearance? E7 clearance. Okay. When you get to an E4 or an E7, by the time you are at an E4, you are completely broken down and you do have ulcers. By E7, your mind is not your own at all. By E7, your mind is a robot. Does that make sense? You are now, yes sir, no ma'am. You will stand in the cold even if that is abuse. I know at one point that the military does break people down to say, like, I need you to be a soldier. You know, there's some people who go into the military and their family puts them into the military. Like, you need discipline. You need to learn new things. You need to be able to fend for yourself, right? But by E4 in the Navy, they have passed that point of dissociative identity disorder. And what that means, if you do not know what DID is, it means that they have broken their mind, or split their mind, in a way that they now can, how can I say this? So let's say that soldier that you know. So when they leave, sometimes they're a really goofy person, right? Sometimes out of control, and you think that that's what's going to help them in the military, right? When they come back, that goofy person that you know is angry. Right? Have you ever seen that? Or that goofy person that you know, you can't get them to crack or smile for nothing. However, sometimes they'll act childlike if you bring something up to them, and maybe it'll just one day that they're like, oh, and you're like, oh my gosh, I thought that was going to break your face to smile again. Right? I didn't know we were still there. Like, I missed you. Have you ever had a situation with a kid who has been in foster care or through some type of trauma response? Sometimes they can be from 5 years old. Some people really don't like it to speak on the teenagers. because I feel like the teenagers are harder to get to because they've been broken down so much. By that time, your mind is already on another level because of what age you're at. But when you're broken down with trauma, it's easier to get to you, right? So has anybody ever had the situation, even with your biological child, where your child may come home and is going through something and you can look at them and say, that's not my child? Yeah. Anybody ever went through that? Yeah. You can look at them and say, I know for a fact that's not my kid. There's a look in their eyes that is vacant. There's a look in their eyes that's angry or almost evil. And you're like, I didn't raise that. I know I may have messed up because of what parent gets a memo book, right? But I didn't raise that. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that saying comes out of your mouth. That's not my kid. Has anybody ever went through that? Yeah. Okay. Some that don't understand, their trauma reverts back to that time. So if you were raped around that time of year, if you were beat as a kid around that time of year, if you were in the military and that's when your programming was completely stopped around that time of the year, that time of the year will always be held. You'll notice it.
The body remembers. You might not consciously say, you know what, so-and-so died, and so I'm going to be sad, probably. It's usually unconscious, but you still are having the same reactions. Your body's still responding the same. Your body's going through all that again.